Welcome back to 1, 2, ooh, and we are continuing our AEW versus WWE bracket. This is the opening rounds. We're going to have such matches as Jey Uso versus Swerve Strickland, Roman Reigns taking on Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes taking on Jon Moxley. Let's see who ChatGPT thinks is going to win these matches, and let's get into it. And welcome back to 1, 2, ooh. I am 8-Bit Mike, and we are continuing our AEW versus WWE bracket tournament. And we're going to jump right into it. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to start with our first round, first match, and we have Swerve Strickland versus Jey Uso. So we went ahead and we put it into ChatGPT. And this is what it kicked out. So the opening of the match, it starts from the very beginning of the match. There's a tense stare down with the crowd chanting, "This is awesome," before they even touch. Swerve extends a sarcastic handshake. Jey slaps it away, and we're off. It's a clinic of counter wrestling. Swerve targets Jey's ribs after a nasty throw into the barricade. He hits a diving double stomp to the ribs from the apron. Jey struggles, but the Uso fire keeps flaring up. Jey rallies, super kicks, a big suicide dive, and a Samoan drop for a near fall. He starts hyping up the crowd with the old Roman style, ooh, ah, signaling a spear. But Swerve flips out of it into a house call kick. 1, 2, ooh. Both men are exhausted. The pace slows into a slugfest. Jey hits the Uso splash, but lands on Swerve's raised knees. Swerve seizes the moment and hits a JML driver clean in the middle. 1, 2, 3. So there you have it. Oh man. In our very first match, it's AEW who takes it with Swerve beating main event Jey Uso. All right. I mean, not shocked there. I think that's the same thing I had. And I liked the layout of the match. It seemed kind of fun. There's a lot of good spots in here. Jey, getting his stuff in, and Swerve landing some moves. So I like it all around, and it makes sense to me. We're going to go ahead and jump into match number 2. And we have Gunther versus Adam Page. So we're going to start right from the start of the match with the ChatGPT layout here. So Gunther immediately asserts dominance with his signature slow, deliberate pace. Every move hurts. Every chop sounds like a shotgun blast. Hangman eats one in the corner and crumbles. But Hangman fires back. He's not afraid to brawl. Lariat, tackle, mounted punches. Gunther swats him away like a bear. The tone is set. This is physical and stiff as hell. Hangman tries to quicken the pace. Slingshot lariats, moonsault to the outside, but Gunther catches him midair and slams him on the apron. From there, Gunther begins surgical work on Hangman's back and brutal suplexes and a Boston Crab. The crowd split. Hangman rallies, hitting a deadeye out of nowhere. 1, 2, ooh, we get a kick out. Hangman is fighting with desperation. He lands a buckshot lariat, but Gunther doesn't fall. He stumbles into the ropes and rebounds with a vicious lariat of his own. The crowd gasps. Both men down. Gunther drags Hangman up and hits a powerbomb, then stacks him like Okada style. 1, 2, ooh, again. Gunther peels off the straps. Chop, chop, chop. He lifts Hangman for a second powerbomb, and this time drives him through the mat. 1, 2, 3. All right, Gunther pulling out the win over Hangman. Yeah, I mean, I could see it. I mean, this layout here made sense, and I mean, yeah, Gunther is a decorated champion, so I have no issue with that one. That's fine. Third match in our first round. And we have Roman Reigns versus Kenny Omega. This is the one I was probably most excited for. I mean, this is kind of a crazy matchup. I don't even know how you would get to this match if we ever had the opportunity to, but wow, this is wild. So here we go. The match begins with an intense stare down. Roman with his full tribal chief aura, the bloodline swagger, and the universal title over his shoulder. Kenny is cocky but cool, circling Roman, already playing head games. He cracks his neck and asks for a handshake, but Roman slaps it away. Disrespected. Roman begins by trying to establish dominance with his power, using his massive frame to control the pace. He throws Kenny into the corner, hits the big right hands, and follows up with a huge superplex to remind Kenny that Roman's the alpha. Kenny, however, has the speed advantage, and he uses it to duck and dodge Roman's attempts at power moves. He lands quick, precise strikes, V-trigger, snapdragon suplex, but Roman keeps fighting back, catching Kenny with a Superman punch out of nowhere. Kenny starts playing mind games. He starts toying with Roman, dodging his strikes and taunting him, which only angers Roman. Roman throws a massive Samoan drop to ground Omega. Roman takes a moment to talk trash to the crowd, saying he's the true head of the table, but Omega pops up and hits a V-trigger right to the jaw. Kenny follows up with a dragon suplex and a moonsault, but Roman just powers out after each near fall, barely beating the count. It's clear both men are struggling to assert their control. Roman eventually clotheslines Kenny outside. The momentum swings back his way. He taunts Kenny, picking him up and tossing him into the steel steps, sending a shockwave through the arena. Roman's confidence grows. He sets up for a spear, but Kenny counters with a V-trigger to the back of the head. Kenny goes for the one-winged angel, but Roman powers out of it into a Samoan drop. With the crowd roaring, Roman stalks Kenny, ready for the spear. Kenny tries to avoid it, but Roman catches him mid-move. It's like a freight train. But wait, Kenny dodges again. Roman crashes into the ropes, and now Kenny is in position. One-winged angel. The crowd goes wild. Kenny hooks the leg. 1, 2. Ooh. Roman barely gets his shoulder up, and the crowd is on its feet, absolutely losing it. Kenny, shocked, looked to finish this once and for all. He scales the top rope for a springboard V-trigger, but as he leaps, Roman catches him mid-air with a Superman punch. Both men are knocked out. They stagger to their feet, exchanging punches in the center of the ring. Roman is exhausted, but he's still standing tall. Roman, spear! He hits it hard. 1, 2, ooh! Roman is seething. He stands over Kenny and screams, "I told you!" as he sets up for a second spear. But Kenny dodges again, sending Roman crashing into the turnbuckle. V-trigger to the back of Roman's head. Kenny follows up with a rolling German suplex. He hits another V-trigger for good measure. One-winged angel. Finally. 1, 2, 3. ChatGPT is killing it with the layout on these matches. Like, this sounded like a great match. Kenny coming out on top. I don't mind it. I could see it happening. So Roman is out. Kenny moves forward. Really interesting. And I like that. I like the false finishes in this one. It makes sense. You have two megastars, two guys at the top of the game. So totally makes sense. And I love the finish. Makes sense. Now we have John Cena versus Adam Copeland. So the bell rings. Cope immediately rushes Cena, looking to take him down early with his fierce strikes. Cena, however, uses his experience to dodge the early attack and catches Cope with a few big right hands. Cena looks to establish control early, showing off his power with a suplex and then tossing Cope to the outside. Cope doesn't take that lightly. He's fired up and gets back in, attacking Cena's legs and setting the tone for the match with a more methodical pace. The crowd is split, with Cope getting some solid support as he throws Cena into a barricade and starts working on Cena's back with a hard knee strike. Cena tries to fight back with his usual offense, hitting a side slam followed by a spinning bulldog. Cope quickly kicks out. Cena is starting to look frustrated as Cope's aggression seems to be throwing him off of his game. Cope moves in for a German suplex, but Cena counters with a jawbreaker. Cope stays on Cena, looking for his chance to end it. He hits a double stomp to Cena's chest, but Cena doesn't stay down. Cena gets back to his feet and lands a big boot to Cope's face, knocking him back to the ropes. He hits a 5-knuckle shuffle, then sets up the attitude adjustment, but Cope breaks free, shoving Cena into the turnbuckle. The pace quickens as both men are visibly exhausted. Cena hits a huge superplex from the top, but Cope immediately responds with a crossface submission, trying to force Cena to tap. Cena refuses, and with his sheer power, Cena picks Cope up and drives him down with an AA attempt. But Cope kicks out at the last second. Cena can't believe it. Cope is still alive in this match. Cope then hits a nasty knee strike to Cena's head, followed by a running knee to the corner, sending Cena down. He goes for his finishing move, a belly-to-belly suplex, then attempts to go for a top rope diving elbow. Cena, however, counters with a pop-up powerbomb. Cena looks like he's in control, but Cope kicks out once more. With the crowd roaring, Cena sets up for the spear, but Cope ducks it, sending Cena into the ropes. Cope then surprises Cena with a lightning-fast DDT, planting Cena's head into the mat. Finally, Cope follows up with a devastating Cope Breaker, a variation of the Code Breaker, and Cena is out cold. 1, 2, 3. I don't know about this one. This has some weird stuff in it. I struggle to see a lot of this happening. You know, it's ChatGPT, so I'm going to take it for what it is, and whatever it is what it is. So Cena loses to Cope, and we're going to move forward with that. Not a big fan with that match overall. I just couldn't see that happening. Like not the outcome, but I just couldn't see a lot of the moves and a lot of the pacing that took place in that one. I don't think that's accurate, but what are we going to do, right? I mean, it's ChatGPT and I'm going to follow the rules of the tournament. So Cope moves forward whether I like it or not. All right, our next match, Will Ospreay versus Drew McIntyre. And chat, I'm telling you right now, you give me anything besides Drew, I'm gonna lose it here. But here, we'll start the match. The bell rings and the match starts with Drew trying to assert his power immediately. He comes charging in with a massive shoulder tackle, knocking Ospreay off his feet. But Ospreay is quick to recover, rolling to the outside. And when Drew goes after him, Ospreay slides back in with an insane springboard plancha that knocks Drew back. Ospreay is all over McIntyre early, using his speed to outmaneuver the bigger man. He hits a drop kick to Drew's chest, followed by a tornado DDT that sends Drew crashing to the mat. Drew's face shows frustration as he realizes Ospreay isn't going to be easy to catch. Drew is trying to slow the pace down, using his powerbomb, a tilt-a-whirl, backbreaker to ground Ospreay, but Ospreay's agility keeps him in the game. Ospreay starts landing some huge kick combinations to Drew's chest and head, but when he attempts a springboard 450 splash, Drew catches him midair and delivers a vicious spine buster. The fight spills to the outside where Drew begins to work on Ospreay with steel step shots and a massive overhead belly-to-belly suplex onto the concrete. The crowd gasps as Drew takes control, knowing that Ospreay's chances of escaping this match diminish with each passing moment. But just when it seems like Drew's dominance is coming too much, Ospreay rallies with a flurry of strikes. He hits a springboard reverse Rana to Drew, sending him crashing to the ropes. Ospreay then scales to the top rope and hits a diving crossbody for a near fall, but Drew powers out at 2.9. Ospreay begins hitting a flurry of aerial offense, springboard enziguri to the back of Drew's head, followed by a hook kick and standing shooting star press. The crowd is on fire as Ospreay signals for the end. He is going for the Oz Cutter, but Drew catches him in midair with a Claymore kick that nearly decapitates him. 1, 2, ooh. Drew is stunned but doesn't waste time. He pulls Ospreay up for the Future Shock DDT, then lifts him for an Alabama Slam. Ospreay is reeling but still kicking out of every pinfall attempt. Drew's frustration is building as he can't seem to put the high flyer down for the 3 count. Drew, now visibly tired, goes for another Claymore kick, but Ospreay ducks it at the last second, catching Drew with a super kick to the jaw. Ospreay follows up with an insane Oz Cutter from out of nowhere. The crowd is on their feet and Ospreay covers. 1, 2, ooh. Ospreay, exhausted but determined, climbs to the top rope once more, this time aiming for the Stormbreaker, but Drew counters, lifting Ospreay into the air, powerbombing him into the corner turnbuckles. Drew goes for the kill with another Claymore kick. Bam! 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre with the win. Makes complete sense. No reason to even talk about that one anymore. That's 100% what would happen. Bam, bam, bam. Love it, love it, love it. All right, jumping into Cody Rhodes versus Jon Moxley. Cody and Moxley stare each other down as the bell rings. Cody throws the first punch, a clean right hand, but Moxley doesn't back down. Moxley welcomes it. The brawl spills outside quickly, with both men using anything at their disposal: steel chairs, ringside barricades, even the announce table gets some love. Moxley busts open Cody early, turning this into an ugly, bloody affair. Cody fights back with a technical skill, hitting a beautiful disaster kick and a Cody cutter, looking to slow Moxley down. The crowd is split. Moxley takes control with his pure chaos. He pulls out a fork from under the ring, because it's Mox, of course he has one, and goes to work on Cody's forehead. It's brutal, it's ugly, the crowd chants "This is awesome," and "You sick fuck," as Moxley smirks, enjoying the violence. Cody is on the ropes, but has never give up mentality. He locks in a figure four on Moxley. But Moxley refuses to tap. Moxley breaks the hold with a low blow, which draws boos, but it's legal in a fight like this. The end is near. Cody hits the crossroads, but Moxley rolls out of the ring to avoid a pinfall. Cody is frustrated but stays focused, looking for that big moment. Moxley grabs a barbed wire wrapped steel chair, because why not? He goes for a swing, but Cody ducks, hits a disaster kick again, and finally gets Moxley in the ring for the crossroads. 1, 2, ooh! Moxley kicks out at the last second possible, but Cody isn't giving up. He climbs to the top rope for the moonsault, but Moxley meets him up there, catching Cody with a paradigm shift from the top rope. Both men are down. Moxley crawls over, throws an arm over Cody. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Okay, Mox beats Cody. Okay, here we go. We have Seth Rollins versus Takeshita. So, bell rings and it's clear the match is going to be fast-paced from the start. Rollins uses his agility to control the early stages, constantly moving and trying to outmaneuver Takeshita with quick strikes. He hits a series of leg sweeps, a springboard knee, and a slingshot to the outside, showing off his versatility. But Takeshita isn't phased. He absorbs the offense and comes back hard, delivering a brutal forearm smash to Rollins' face that sends him staggering. Takeshita follows up with the running lariat and nearly flips Rollins inside out. The crowd gasps as Takeshita takes control, focusing on Rollins' neck and back with German suplexes and elbow strikes. Rollins fights back with a high-speed, high-flying offense. He hits a Falcon Arrow for a near fall, then follows it up with a superplex into a Falcon Arrow combo. Takeshita kicks out at 2.9, and Rollins can't believe it. He tries to keep up pace, hitting super kicks and springboard knees, but Takeshita just keeps coming back with his hard-hitting style. Takeshita hits Rollins with a stiff chop to the chest, then follows it up with a high-angle brainbuster. Rollins is stunned, but he doesn't stay down for long. The fight spills to the outside where Rollins attempts the cannonball off the barricade, but Takeshita catches him with a various knee strike, sending Rollins crashing to the ground. Back in the ring, both men are feeling the effects of the match. Takeshita goes for a blue thunderbomb, but Rollins counters mid-move, landing on his feet. He then hits a super kick and rocks Takeshita back. Rollins attempts his curb stomp, but Takeshita catches him midair with a punch that staggers him. Takeshita immediately follows up with a fireman's carry into a spinning slam and covers for a near fall. The intensity keeps rising as both men refusing to stay down. The crowd is on the edge of their seats. Rollins lines up another curb stomp, and this time he connects. Takeshita kicks out at 2.9 and the crowd goes wild. Rollins, now looking for a finishing move, goes for the Phoenix Splash from the top rope. As he flies, Takeshita catches him midair with a devastating knee strike to the face, knocking Rollins cold. Takeshita pulls him up and delivers his finishing Takeshita driver, a brutal sit-down powerbomb for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, could happen. Makes sense. Not as bad as some of the other matches, the way they were laid out, but pretty good. Makes sense. Last match now, we have CM Punk versus MJF. This is the last one for round one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But here we go. CM Punk and MJF. The bell rings and the atmosphere is tense. Punk and MJF circle each other, and immediately the verbal jousting begins. Punk gives MJF a sarcastic clap mocking him. MJF responds with a gesture telling the crowd to shut up, then attacks with a cheap shot, kneeing Punk in the gut and driving him into the corner. MJF doesn't waste any time with a handshake or any honor. He's all about getting under Punk's skin. He starts with a series of punches and kicks to Punk's midsection. Punk fights back with his own stiff strikes and an impressive arm drag to take MJF down, but MJF rolls to the outside, biding time and regaining composure. Punk follows him to the outside, but MJF pulls Punk into the steel post before rolling him back into the ring. MJF, always one to use shortcuts, rips the turnbuckle pad off, exposing the steel. He smirks at the referee's warnings, trying to play referee like a fiddle. Punk, however, isn't having any of it. Punk lands a high knee in the corner and MJF stumbles back. Punk takes advantage with a springboard clothesline and then tries to follow up with his classic pile driver, but MJF fights back, flipping Punk over with a scoop slam. The crowd is firmly behind Punk now, knowing that he can out-wrestle MJF if given the chance. Punk hits a belly-to-belly suplex and then a flying elbow from the top rope. MJF looks rattled, but he's crafty. When Punk gets up for the GTS, MJF rakes his eyes, buying himself precious seconds. MJF then hits a DDT and locks in a headlock, trying to wear down Punk to avoid the bigger man's offense. MJF taunts the crowd, shouting at them to show him respect. But this gives Punk the opening he needs. Punk fights his way out, getting back to his feet with a back suplex and then hitting a running bulldog to MJF. The match is nearing its boiling point. Punk goes for another GTS, but MJF counters with a low blow behind the referee's back, followed by a huge power bomb. The crowd boos loudly, but MJF just smirks. He climbs to the top for a flying elbow to Punk and hits it perfectly, but Punk kicks out at 2. MJF, desperate now, looks to use the Dynamite Diamond Ring, but Punk super kicks MJF before he can make the move. Punk then locks in a sharpshooter, and the crowd goes wild as MJF struggles to break free. MJF inches towards the ropes, but before he can reach, Punk pulls him back to the center of the ring, cranking the submission tighter. MJF is in agony, and it's clear he's running out of options. In a final act of desperation, he taps out. Wow, so CM Punk with a submission victory over MJF. Wow, that is a tournament round 1 ender if I've ever seen one. Yeah, I love the CM Punk win, so I'll take that all day, but I thought MJF would win that one. But so that is the first round of our tournament. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave me your 1, 2, oohs in the comment. I'm your boy, 8-Bit Mike, and I'll see you next time.